there are basics to adulthood that you need to be working on before you start getting into the esoteric. And they're trying to use it as an escape for adult life. Because again, our situation is a bit different than it is for females. But I wanted to speak on something that I get sent a lot, like a question that comes through a lot in my inbox. Question and comment. And it came through recently, and I didn't answer it because I told myself I was going to make a video and then give the individual, it was a young man who asked me, give him the link to this video. So one of the questions that comes up a lot is, Chief, I want to take your class and I want to get a reading by you, but I don't have any money. Well, what should I do? Oh, but this one was, I want to get initiated, I want to get a reading, and I want to take a class, but I'm currently in school, something else. Oh, and he's homeless. I'm in school and I'm homeless and I have no money, right? So that comes up a lot. Now, I'm not necessarily in that particular same format, but I don't have any money. I can't afford a reading. I can't afford a book. I can't afford a class, right? Mind you, the digital versions of my book, I have books for $4.99, right? So I'm just going to assume that those messages are coming through like you're going to the library for free internet and to use their computer. That's how you contact them. You don't actually have a cell phone that you're paying a bill on monthly, right? But your finances are none of my business. To answer that question that comes up so often, because sometimes people are like, yo, can I still get in touch with you? No, only if I want you to. So what I mean by that, it's like, I do grace people with a lot of free stuff when I am compelled to by spirit. It's not something that you give me this sob story, I ain't got no money on it. Oh, okay, well, no, because chances are you don't need a reading. You don't need to join a class. I'm going to direct it to the men, the males, because again, our situation is a bit different than it is for females. But if you don't have $10 to buy a book or whatever for a reading or whatever it is you're trying to do, then I can only assume that there's some other major areas in your life that are not being taken care of. You are probably not eating properly. You know, I won't even get into like, do you have health insurance and stuff like that, because you know that I'm not really on that vibe. But you're probably not eating properly. You know, you're not living in a way that's becoming of a man. You might be out here living like an animal, right? And there's no shots in that. That's what I'm talking to the men. We should be able to talk like men. You know, I'm not going to pussyfoot around. The last thing you need is a reading, or to be saying, well, I want to get a spiritual class. You don't need a spiritual class. The truth is, if you're doing that poorly financially, and it's for good reason, if it's for divine reason, the guru will find you. I promise you, the guru will find you. The person who's that teacher will see you, take you in, and start developing and working with you. If you are in a poor financial situation because of your own folly, you need to repair that first. There are basics to adulthood that you need to be working on before you start getting into the esoterics. That's why I always say, deal with the concrete before you deal with the abstract. Deal with the physical before you deal with the metaphysical. Sure, the unseen comes before the seen, but the unseen here is thought. And anybody who would tell you to give them your last so that you can get a spiritual ritual, whatever, and you are homeless and you have no money and you have this and that, there's something wrong. There's something going on there. Now, if I did a ritual with you, took you somewhere, would your money increase? Yeah, it would. But are you thinking better now? No, you're not. Whatever malign thought that caused you to be in that situation is still going to be present. You see? So I'm going to deal with that first. But too many use, and I'm not saying this about you, young man, I'm using it as an opportunity to address a lot of people. So there's a lot of points that I'm making. Too many people attempt to use spirituality or their perception of spirituality as an escape, and they're trying to use it as an escape for adult life or from adult life, right? So I can't do this. I'm not going to get a job because, it interferes with my studies and this and that and that. And I'll say this is why there's over 1,000 free shows on YouTube. Literally, there's over 1,000. I'm going to keep it all the way solid with you. In those 1,000 plus shows, you have everything you need to get your life together. Everything. From health information to spiritual information to manhood information to womanhood information to information for children, information for community building, even how to put together solar panels. I mean, we can go right down the list. I gave you everything. Now, why did I do that, and why did I do it for free? Because I've been getting requests like that 30 years now. Hook me up. I ain't got this, I ain't got it. Hook me up. Okay, well, here you go. Here's a bunch of free segments. Here's a bunch of low-cost books. I don't have any books that cost more than $20 as of right now, right? So I got books from, I think 14 Keys is 14. And then it goes down from there. That's the most expensive book, is $14. And you can get the digital versions of that for like $7, $5, something like that, right? But is your problem resolved in one book? No. You got a deeper issue going on there. If you're 25, 30, 40 years old as a man and you have nothing, right? Because if you have time to listen to me or time to get on Facebook or whatever, you have time to work 2-3 jobs. Now I gotta do the old man thing, and I'm sorry, but I gotta do it. There was a time in my life when I was taking 12 credits. I owned a barbershop where I managed 4 other barbers, all older than me at the time. I worked in a furniture store, restoring furniture. I wasn't on the sales floor. I was actually the one stripping furniture down and redoing it. And I also did personal security on movie sets, right? So I'm in college taking 12 credits, and at that time my major was electrical engineering, so it was a lot of heavy math programs. I own a business, barbershop, so I'm cutting and managing other people. Stripping furniture, very ugly work, working with those chemicals, and doing personal security, right, which is basically bodyguard work. And the on the sets, the shifts are 12 hours, from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. All the shifts work in 12-hour runs. I was able to do that, and at the same time, still study my lessons and so forth and so on while going to school. Now, what I'm saying is that sometimes, and this is before smartphones, all I had was my Franklin planner, okay? So we're going back. I had this paper Franklin planner, and I used to write my stuff out there. Sometimes you just need to develop a better culture of personal management to get your life back on track. It's not that you need a ritual. You maybe need to, instead of going on YouTube and searching for all the spiritual information, which is great, look up some of the people who talk about personal development and personal organizing and self-finance and microfinancing and things like that, and productivity, different ways to kind of really hack your personal productivity. Sometimes you need to work on that before you want to learn how to do rituals, to do this and that, because even the rituals, if I say, hey, get some frankincense and some charcoal, you got to pay for that. If I say get some liquor, you got to pay for the liquor. You know what I mean? And then if you're homeless, where are you going to do these things at? Right? You can go in the woods, but if you're driving, don't you need gas to put in the car to go to, so deal with the concrete before you go to the abstract. And that's for all of you men. Anu Nation and Anu Life Global Ministry, let's go to Anu Nation. I'm not about promoting poverty. I'm not with that, because when you're impoverished, you can't meditate and be impoverished. You can't meditate on deeper thought and more critical thinking when you're concerned about how you're going to eat and if you're going to have a roof over your head. So certain things need to be taken care of, and taken care of abundantly, so it's not even a concern. So that way you can now focus on almost the extracurricular aspects of living. So that's for all of you. Hit me up with that. I don't have any money. I'm not, let me put it this way. All the work that I've put in to doing all these segments, you got some segments where I'm doing straight lectures for 3-4 hours. Not to mention the speeches that I have, that I've uploaded, that people paid for at that time. They might have paid $20, $25 to come hear me speak. I have at least 10 of them that are on YouTube right now for free. So my money is extended. I've spent money. I've spent my time, my resources, my energy to do all of these segments. When I had the Blog Talk show, I paid for a month. I paid for that monthly. I have the podcast subscription. I haven't done a podcast in months, but they take the money out of my account every month. I still pay for the podcasting service. It's not free. So I'm paying so that you can have stuff for free. Our new even has 1-800 numbers that people utilize. My call number for readings is a 1-800 number. I pay for that monthly so that you can do things for free. So what you're looking for in hookup, you've already been given. You see, what you're looking for is, I don't have any money, Chief. Can you do this for me? I already did it. I already taught all the free classes you need. I already gave all the guidance you need. Now you have to put in the time and the sweat equity to go through those shows and go through those videos and find what it is to start applying it to your life. But to continue to ask for more free things, it gives reason and evidence and demonstration as to why you have nothing now. So I'm just going to say that I know that might be harsh for some of you. And again, young man, I'm not necessarily speaking to you. I'm speaking to you, but I'm speaking to a lot of people. And I said I need to do a video on this because it comes up so very often. And it's a deeper cultural issue with certain ethnic groups. Because ironically, I only get those questions from one ethnic group. Now I'll let you guess what group that is. But it's only one group of people who does that. Or comes to lectures when on a flyer it says $20, $25, $10 to get in, and comes with a, I ain't got, I really need to see Chief. I don't have any money, but there's only one group of people that does that. Everyone else respects the work that was put in and respects wisdom and knowledge and is okay with contributing towards it to keep it going. And this is why sometimes the community of teachers exit the community to go elsewhere where they're better appreciated and where they can actually survive. Because some people don't realize that teachers and priests also need to eat and also need some place to sit down or lay down at night. They may even have children that they're putting through school or have to buy braces for, or have to buy, for different sports activities they're in, or have to have a vehicle to drive their family around and so forth and so on. So I know everybody wants the knowledge to be free. It should be free. It is. But the effort and the equity that people have put into uncovering it and refining it to present to you, that costs them something. And this is for also you practitioners who are priests and whatnot who are listening. I'm going to give you an example that I always give people when they don't know what to charge people. This is what I always tell people. How much would it cost for me to yank you away from your family? Let's say for an hour. Whatever that number is, that's the number you should charge for your services. And if you charge less than that, you make sure you let them people know that it's discounted. Let's say, here's an example I used to give. If you have a young child, and that young child, you're working on them, teaching them how to walk, and they're getting ready to take their first walk, how much would it cost for me to say, leave the baby and come here and help me with my issue? How much would you charge someone to miss your child's first walk? That's what you should charge people for, not the knowledge and the wisdom, your time. The time that they're extracting you away from your loved ones. Now, some of you might say $10,000, $20,000. I could miss my child's first walk for a couple of G's. I could miss it for a couple hundred. Whatever your number is, you may not charge someone $10,000 an hour, but there's nothing wrong with telling them my normal rate is 10 grand, but I'm going to discount it for you and I'm going to charge you whatever it is that you charge. Okay? So for those of you who are like listening and like, you know, maybe you're on that side of I want the free stuff, I want you to understand that, like right now I'm doing a video for free. When I'm doing podcasts and different services like that, it's for free. And in those moments and in those times, I'm taking away from individuals who love me and individuals I love. All right? So just consider that when you're asking those type of questions, you know, what we may possibly go through.